Hello everybody, what's up? It's Melissa Daggett with Three Way Fit, and today's video is on 5 types of deceptively appealing men to avoid. Does that sound intriguing to you? Well, welcome to the video. I am a certified life coach, financial advisor, and lover of great relationships. And today I want to dig right into the video, but first, if you're on social media and you find value in this, go ahead and share it with all your friends because we're here to empower each other. That's my whole goal, is to empower you 3 ways: in fitness, finances, and relationships. And if you're on YouTube, go ahead and click the subscribe button and click the little bell above it if you want to get notifications for future videos. So let's dig right in. Okay, so 5 types of deceptively appealing men to avoid. Number 1, the emotional avoidant. Now, I want to start with a little joke. We saw a matrix going around a few years ago about, there was actually a matrix for men and a matrix for women. And the matrix for men looking for a woman went something like this. The man wanted to find the least amount of crazy with the most amount of hot. And so they had a matrix on scale of 1 to 10. So they said most women started at least a 4 of crazy. And so you want to try to get maybe not a 10, but an 8 hot, so that she's less crazy. That was just kind of a joke and a funny thing that was going around social media and YouTube. And then the one for women went something like this. Their matrix was, you wanted to find the most amount of financially stable with the least amount of emotionally unavailable. And they said most men started at least a 4 of emotionally unavailable, unless they're gay, and then they're more emotionally available usually. So that's just a funny thing. But, you know, there's some truth to it. It is difficult to find a man who's emotionally available, but not impossible. And usually he has to be more mature in his process of relationships, and at a certain age where he's been through relationships and he really values them, so that he's learned some of these skills. Because really, you know, yes, it's more difficult. Women in general are more emotionally available because we're more relational oriented. Where men are more task-oriented in general. So some men really have to learn these skills and they have to go through it. So you want somebody who's emotionally mature, emotionally stable, and that when you get in a conflict, he's willing to talk, he's willing to be open, he values the relationship enough to work through whatever it is that's bothering you. The emotional immature man, on the other hand, who's not emotionally developed, will not value your feelings. In fact, he will invalidate you. So value is the opposite of invalidate. He will invalidate your feelings. He won't want to talk about it. He'll give you the silent treatment. He won't be open to working through things. And you want to avoid this because you're always going to have issues and things that come up that you have to work through in a healthy relationship. No matter how in love you are, no matter how much chemistry you have, this is a very important skill. So you really want to look for an emotionally available man. And if you want to get private Zooms with me, I can show you some questions to ask in the early phases of dating, just to find out, so that you don't waste your time and then find out later. Because a lot of times you don't find this out until your first conflict. Okay, so number two type of deceptively appealing man that you want to avoid is, he might look confident, but if he's self-absorbed or selfish. Okay. Oh, by the way, on the emotional avoidant, he might look mysterious or aloof, or, you know, hard to get to know, and that's what's deceptive about it. So I have to tell you what the deceptively appealing factor is. So with the emotional avoidant, that it's deceptive that, he's mysterious or he's, reserved. But if that turns into emotional avoidant, it's not good. So with the self-absorbed or selfish man, he might appear confident at first, or, really into, self-care and things like that. And yes, we want a man who takes good care of himself, but we don't want somebody who's self-absorbed or selfish. It takes 2 unselfish people to have a really healthy relationship. So if you're selfish, you need to work on that too. A great relationship takes give-give. It can't be 2 takers. 2 selfish, self-absorbed people doesn't work. And it can't be 1 taker and 1 giver, where one's doing all the giving and the other one's doing all the taking. That's going to turn into resentment pretty quickly. So you want to find a man, when you see, who is taking good care of himself, and maybe he's confident, you want to check on, is he selfish, or is he really valuing a relationship as much as he values himself? Okay, number 3, easygoing. That might look good at first, but is he focused? So not focused would be the one you want to look for. Is he easygoing, and so it seems like he's really cool, but he doesn't have any goals in life? You want to try to avoid that and find that out early, if he's on the same page with you as far as what you value. Number 4, this is kind of like the selfish and self-absorbed, but a little different. It's overconfident or ego-driven. And yes, a lot of men have egos and a lot of women have egos, and there's nothing wrong with confidence, but what you want to avoid is somebody who, you know, they don't fight fair, they punish you, they have to win every fight. They're just, again, immature, but also driven by their ego versus, you know, humility. So you want to find somebody who's confident but not overconfident, and there's clues to this early on. Okay, number 5, the confused man. It might seem cool at first that he says, oh, let's just see how it plays out. Oh, you know, let's just go with the flow. But you need to find out early if he knows what he wants. It's okay to let things organically evolve, but if it's a cop-out for somebody who's just confused and doesn't know what they want, that guy needs to figure out what he wants before he's ready for a relationship. So you want to avoid that type of man. You want somebody who knows what he wants and you know what you want, so that when you find each other, you know exactly what you want and you can build something together, okay? So now that we've talked about what you want to avoid, the 5 types, let's say the opposite of those, what you want to look for instead. And this will wrap up the video. Number 1, emotionally available. That's pretty obvious, right? So I'll give you clues on how to find that out. But there's a lot of ways to find that out in the beginning without having a conflict, okay? Does he have empathy for your feelings? Does he pay attention? Is he sensitive to little things? You know, how connected, how much is he connecting to you and trying to? Number 2, he's investing in you, not just financially, but time. He is not just saying all the right things, but he's giving an equal investment to the relationship that you are. Okay, number 3, you want to find somebody who's focused on work-life balance. Is he married to his work? Is his work his mistress? Does he always have excuses with his work of why I can't see you? Or does he value your relationship and building life together, not just work? Okay, you want to find somebody that has that work-life balance, or you'll become resentful pretty quickly and the relationship won't grow. Number 4, a balance of confidence and humility, okay, instead of, you know, the overconfident. So you can see that he's humble and that he has really values building something with you, and he values the relationship, and he's not overconfident to where when something happens, it's all about his ego. But he's willing to lay aside his ego, maybe listen to your viewpoint, meet you halfway. If you're always the one making concessions and meeting him halfway and he never is, you want to avoid that. That's not a good relationship. That's an immature man. Okay, number 5, he knows what he wants and he can define it. He's not confused. Okay, you can find this out early on too. Ask him about his goals in life. Ask him what he wants from a relationship and get real specific. You know, chemistry can be replaced easily. We can have chemistry with a lot of people. And in my upcoming video, I'm doing the 6 C's of a healthy relationship. I did the 3 C's, now I've added 3 more. And one of them is compatibility, which is more important than chemistry. But I'll dive deeper into that video on what that means, because, you know, what happens a lot of the times is we get carried away by chemistry and we don't take our time. We rush and we don't take our time to really know if we're compatible. And you really want to find somebody who knows what he wants and can define it and that it matches yours, because that's the makings of a great relationship in the long term, right? Chemistry can easily be replaced, and that doesn't mean it's going to be a great relationship. But I'll talk about the 6 C's, and you can check out that video later. So go ahead and hit subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit the bell. You'll get notifications. If you're on social media, share this, like it. And I hope this has added some value to you. It was short and sweet, but I felt it was necessary because, you know, I try to teach women to be high value. I try to teach people how to empower themselves. And part of empowering yourself and knowing what you want is also knowing what you don't want, okay? So let me know how you liked it in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.